killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song.
Yo, this is why Clef, Refuge, Cant, cries well. Little bass sitting up here on the bass. While I'm on this road, I got my girl L. One time. Hey yo, L, you know you got the lyrics.
Cuddle. That's when the cuddle time is. Like, the women cuddle with me. The guys turn over, like whatever. So when we became intimate or whatever. I remember she was like, all right, I'm hot. Like, leave me alone. Right? like, and I was thinking, I was like, all right, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I remember that. But then that changed. And, like, the fact that she's always saying I'm overheating. Like, her explanation of being hot and why she doesn't like to be
going
touched.
through premenopause.
So the other day, it's kind of funny. The other day, I came home from something. And I don't know if this was because of something outside of this, but she was really happy.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you ever get somebody like, fuck, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you so happy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this one.
And it was nice because, and I was thrown off by it. And after I was like, you okay? It touched me because I assume you were happy because I came home. It could have been anything.
I was, but it's honestly okay. This is gonna sound so bad. I don't know if you can keep this or what, but it's because my dad used to tell me he would pick me up and I would literally wait at the window and he wouldn't come.
Oh no, that's
so like
I could speak to a time that love hurt. Why? No, I mean, like, no, I will answer the question, but it's like, if I look at the scope of my life in regards to love and my romantic relationships, I've had so many that hurt that I wouldn't even want to think about them anymore. You know what I'm saying? But I will answer the question. Just, whatever. Just want to put that out there. So I just remember I was, actually saw a picture of something that somebody had posted like on IG, and it hurt me. And it wasn't that happened. It wasn't what they did. It was like a culmination of work to avoid all the pain. And it kind of was like the tipping point. And I remember my legs stopped working. Like, I think Deanna was upstairs, my sister was upstairs, and I called her, and I was in my father's house in his study, and I needed to get to the fresh air. I needed to get outside, but I could not because my legs were they weren't working anymore. So I called Deanna, and which is the worst idea to call somebody, because she's like, starts crying and she's like panicking. And so she called my cousin Breeze, who happened to be in the area. She was like, I don't know what's wrong with Dion, like So, and he happened to be in the area. He pulled up, and his daughter was there, and he lifted, and he put on his one arm under his shoulder, whatever, and helped me walk from where I was to the porch to get fresh air. And after we were talking, he's like, you felt 300 pounds. Like, you felt heavy as shit. Like, my muscles tensed up, and it was just, and I realized that, I guess now thinking about it, I thought the pain I felt was from the love that I felt I lost from that person. But I guess in conversation, it was kind of just through this conversation, it's just that it was several heartbreaks compounded into one. And it was my psyche was like, nah, Negro, this is over. This is over.
You wasn't taking care of it.
Yeah. So yeah,
that'll do it.
That's my goal.
A time that love hurt. My longest relationship, it was my longest relationship. A few years ago, I was in a 7-year relationship, and a lot of that relationship hurt because we were, again, toxic, and it was a kind of like codependent, but also like draining relationship. So it just hurt to be a support when I wasn't getting the support that I needed. And then also it like made me develop this thing where like after we had broken up, I felt like I failed the person, even though I did everything I could for that relationship. But they had issues dependency issues, abandonment issues, because they had a very rough life, and I like filled a type of void. And I say it was codependent because like he needed like somebody to care for him in ways that he wasn't cared for, but he needed a lot of it because there was a lot of neglect in his life. And I just like kept giving and giving and giving and giving, and eventually I didn't have anything to give because I was giving so much, and he was unable. It wasn't his fault. Like he was unable to reciprocate everything because he had been so depleted. So like that was a time that love hurt. And honestly, not even to speak to like just like what kind of relationships are these called? Like spousal relationships or whatever, girlfriend, boyfriend, like
sure.
romantic. Yeah, I couldn't think of that word. Wow. Like a familial relationship, like love hurt. Like I said earlier, when I like thought my dad would come pick me up and he couldn't or didn't for whatever the reasons were. Or love hurt when like my mom was working to keep a roof over my head, but like working nonetheless, and not able to like spend time with me or go to things with me because she was at work trying to provide for me.
That's the fifth one, quality time.
Yes, it is. You're right. So I would say like those are specific times when love hurt for me. Yeah, she cute at night when you're trying to sleep. But yes, that is one thing. Sleep is definitely.
Did you ever have your reservations about getting with someone who has a child? And if so, what were they?
Yes, and it was just the fact that, so I might say something that might be controversial, but I'm gonna say it anyways. That is one of the things that I really enjoy about Dion, is the fact that he is such a good father. But I feel like people, if you're a selfish person, and there's nothing wrong with being selfish, and I don't mean it in like a selfish, you don't care about other people way. I mean in a way where you're like focusing on yourself, doing what you need to do. Dating someone with children is not for you because you're not going to be their number one priority, and you shouldn't be their number one priority. And I wouldn't want to date anyone who had a child and their child wasn't their number one priority. I do understand there are different circumstances for like every situation when parents are not together, which is, it is what it is. It's not good or bad. It's just what happens. But I will say that is one of the things that I did admire about him, is the fact that he does want to show up for his children and be in their lives.
Just calm down. She's gonna be okay.
Hey, look, I try to support Black-owned businesses, but this is absolutely ridiculous. Take me home now.
Monty. Miss Rossmore.
Maya, what are you doing here?
Well, I live next door to your Monty, your driver.
Well, he's not my driver after tonight, thank you very much. The next time you want to recommend a little car service to me, Maya, make sure it's not one of your buddies from the hood, okay?
Maya, what happened?
Well, there was a fire and then...
Jennifer Jackson, Monty James.
Yeah.
Lori Bell, Department of Social Services.
Are my kids all right where they at?
They're fine. They're being looked after. Mr. James, this could have been really bad.
I know. I had to work tonight, and the oldest one, she old enough to look after the little ones.
And I live right next door.
This is my neighbor.
Well, your daughter started a fire. Now, I'm sure it was an accident and the fire wasn't that bad, but if your neighbor had not broken down the door, your daughters could have died of smoke inhalation. Now, we're gonna have to look after your daughters for a little while.
No.
And I think that is amazing. So I like that aspect. And it was mostly, I'm gonna be honest, I like that aspect mostly because my dad wasn't always there, and I like to see him there for his kids. But it was hard, like, just accepting the fact that I'm not we can't be each other's number one. like you might be able to be my number one, but you have number ones already.
Mm-hmm.
So that I will say.
So Dion, this question's for you. So how was it for you to get back into the dating field, having, being a single dad?
It was tricky and interesting. It was months before I let Courtney even meet my daughter. And then my oldest daughter, eventually, I introduced them over the phone or whatnot. But there were times when we would be, I don't remember how hard we were chilling before the pandemic, but I felt like there's a memory that I have that we were chilling kind of a couple of days. And I remember she had to go because my daughter was coming over. And like, if my daughter didn't come over, then she wouldn't have had a reason to leave. And it was something that I remember. I don't think I had trepidation in this relationship talking about it. Like, I know in the past, previous relationships, I was like, hey, before we get any further with this, I gotta let you know because at that time I only had one. I have a daughter that, and if you want to walk, we could do that now. I don't remember if I even approached you like that.
You did. Honestly, you did from the beginning.
Okay, I think so.
Yeah.
Because I think I had a really bad relationship before my youngest daughter was born. I was in a relationship and I had my oldest one, and I was under the impression it was good, and it turned out to not be good. So then when I got into a relationship after that, and that,
your daughter's mother.
Yeah, my daughter's mother. And then I got out of that relationship, and then I was like, all right, I'm done with relationships. I'm done with this. Like, I'm done. I give up.
You said you was done with black women.
Disrespecting my Nubian princess, man. Peace out. With disrespect, oh my God. The mother of Mecca is right here before me. Do my eyes not deceive me, or am I looking at the goddess Isis herself? Can you do me a favor, my brown skin angel? Can you tap that white girl for me? My milk of magnesia. Oh, after the devil made you, he broke the mold. Well, maybe you and I could make a little jungle fever.
I said you were the last one. I was like, if this don't work out, bro, I was like, I don't know what to do. Anyway, really gonna put that out there like that? Sheesh. Anyway. So with that in mind, because I had such a bad experience from my previous situation, I was like, all right, look, I don't want to let you, I've always felt like I was baggage. I had baggage with me, and I don't think it's a negative thing. I love my kids, but I understand that it's a lot to ask somebody to put into their life, into their future. It's not their choice. It was my choice, So if you want to ride with me, this is how it's gonna be. And if
then it does become their choice.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. But like, so it's like, I want you to know before we get, we cool. I enjoy your company, you enjoy my company. But before this gets any more serious, like, this is what I'm dealing with. Yeah. So make a decision. Or not, deuces.
Literally, whenever anybody like tells me that they're leaving and they're coming back, I'm literally like a puppy dog waiting for them to come back. Like, I know I shouldn't do it, but like when you came back, I was like, oh, he came back. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't come back to your house. But yeah, sometimes, and it doesn't happen all the time. It just happens.
No, turn around.
I don't want you to get mad. Okay. Like, my ex would like get mad if he saw people liking my pictures, or if I made a comment or posted something. I'm like, if you come to me with this bullshit ass 16-year-old shit again, I'm not doing this, because you're not gonna clock me for something that I put on a thing that don't matter.
I could also I had a similar situation to that. Whoo, man. That's funny. Like, a couple years ago, I put up some posts about people that I really cared about. Not to say that people who I didn't post I didn't care about, but it was people who at the time you were one of them who I always like to say the expression, give people roses when they can smell them, you know? And I just purchased my first house, and I felt really fortunate the people that are in my life. So I was like, I posted some posts up about them, you know, and then I got flack from someone who I definitely cared for and loved, but I didn't put a post about. It was the person who I had off and on relationship with, the mother of my first child. And I actually did have something planned that I was going to post for them, and I showed them, and they were like, they said something, but it doesn't really matter what they said. It just, because it hurt, right? Because it wasn't, they felt entitled enough to tell me how to show my love to them, right? So then fast forward, there to a more recent relationship when I'm a private person by nature, so I might make a decision to post something, I might not. It has nothing to do with me showing it off to somebody or whatever. I just put what I want, and I don't put what I want. So when I did decide to post something, I forgot how it was phrased, but somebody was like, somebody was implying that I didn't care about something that I did care about because I didn't post it.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
And I was like, and it kind of like disgusted me, you know? There was actually times in my previous relationship where there would be arguments about postings. And I was like,
see, I can't do that.
Like,
we had those arguments. I'm like, I'm not 16. I'm not doing this.
Not that I would post something, but that I wouldn't post something.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So, I mean, it kind of rubbed me, because I really don't like social networking and social media, whatever. Not social networking, but in social media anyway. So it just gave me more incentive to kind of not do it at all, you know? So.
Yeah, I'm not.
You know, unique. Anyone can start.
Go. I did last time.
Okay. I feel like we are very similar, and I didn't think like I would find something so good in somebody who was so similar to me. And I think we're similar in like the good ways, not the bad ways. So I think that is one way that we work. Because sometimes they say like they give it on both spectrums, like not different strokes for different folks. That's the wrong, like opposites attract. Sorry, that's what I was trying to think of. Opposites attract. But sometimes I think like kindred, like I feel like we're kindred spirits. Oh, sweet.
Time for it, rolling up.
I ain't no do it. I'm telling you, don't do it.
Do it. I'm nervous.
It might be
that. I want to know is why is he dressed like Rowdy Piper?
I got Scottish in my family.
Scottish? Come on.
So who's your bridesmaid? Come on, man. Just support me. Support me. Come on, man.
Man, y'all sitting up here talking about each other. We need to be supporting this.
That's
man.
right.
I supported his girl he married for about 2 years.
Please.
Trying to pay for her own bachelorette party.
When the man is ready, he ready. When y'all get 80, 70, 60, 55 years old, and y'all gonna be sitting in a rocking chair by yourself.
Yeah.
Let's go to the club. Let's go to the club. Y'all gonna be the only old
I'm being
in the
seriously,
club.
Dre, I'm playing aside, man. Why get married, Pippin? Why?
So, I typed a text to a girl I used to see, saying that I chose this cutie pie with whom I wanna be. And I apologize if this message gets you down. Then I CC'd every girl that I'd CC round town. And hate to see y'all frown, but I'd rather see her smiling. Wetness all around me, true, but I'm no island. Peninsula, maybe. Makes no sense, I know crazy. Give up all this pussy cat that's in my lap, no looking back. Spaceships don't come equipped with rear view mirrors, they dip as quick as they can. The atmosphere is now ripped. I'm so like a pimp. I'm glad it's night. So the light from the sun would not burn me on my bum when I shoot the moon. High jump the broom like a preemie out the womb. My partner yelling too soon. Don't do it. Reconsider. Read some litter. Sure on the subject. You sure? Fuck it. You know we got your back like chiropractic. If that bitch do you dirty, we'll wipe her ass out as in detergent. Now hurry, go on to the
how
altar.
bad it can get, quote unquote, right? And I can't imagine or foresee what the argument's going to be about, and I can't imagine it could be so bad that we can't talk about it after, because there's been uncomfortable times when the biggest issue we've had is space, I guess, that's safe to say. Like where she gets in a mood and I get in a mood, not at the same time, you know, where we would need to like kind of not be near each other. And then we've been able to, after that fact, talk about it. And if I'm overstepping or saying something that you don't agree with, by all means. So I think that's a lot different than what I've experienced in my past. I've had some, no disrespect to any whatever, you know, I've had some really toxic relationships, and I was so used to that toxicity that when I got in a relationship and there wasn't some level of toxicity, I was like, this doesn't feel right. Mm-hmm. Like, this doesn't feel like what I'm used to. I don't know if I remember I told her, like, I should love you, but I don't yet, because I'm not used to this. I'm used to the argument and knowing that I almost lost you to know that I love you. You know what I'm saying? As weird as that sounds. So I might have overstepped or missed the original direction of the answer, but I don't even remember what the question was. But
I think I already said it kind of, but just I think we have this like misconception of what love is, because there's a lot of bad things that come with love when you're not doing it right, and they come very closely attached with love, which I can like go back to what we said earlier when we were like, oh, this relationship isn't toxic, so I don't know if it's right, because like so closely does jealousy, so closely does envy, so closely does like intense pain and heartbreak come with love, that you like kind of sort of confuse those things to be love as well. Like they say like, oh, you got to get them angry to know if they really love you. And it's like, no, you don't have to do that. That's not something that you have to do. They could love you without being extremely angry. Like you don't need to get into an argument or a fight to know somebody loves you. And I understand why people feel like that, because it's passionate. And that's even another thing that can be confused with love, is the passion, which is great to have passion. And I understand like feeling like, oh, if there's not like a passion, is it real or is it love or blah blah blah? And it's like, yeah, it can still be love. It doesn't have to be like fiery, burning, bright, like can't live without the other person, blah blah blah, to still be love. So I feel like for me, understanding and realizing that that's love to me. Being my best self so I can give my best self is love to me. Self-love is love to me. Setting boundaries so people don't like deplete me completely is love to me, because I can't keep giving from a cup that's empty. I'm working on it. I can't keep giving from a cup that's empty. So I'm working, like he's side-eyeing me, on like making sure I take time for myself that I need, so that way I can be the best version of myself for you, the best version of myself for my mom and my family, the best version of myself for Charlie, for me. But also, I like to give love. I'm a loving person. That's just what I do. I love people, okay? I know I say I hate people, but I love people. Like my people, my tribe. So I think that is love, is striving to be the best version of yourself, so that when you are called upon to love the right people, you can do it in the best way possible. That's my PC answer, but also our real answer.
So I was actually trying to figure out something deep and like concise to like wrap it all up, but it's a very complicated task to do. So one of my great deep philosophical answers in the midst of her explaining was like, love is a reason for waking up in the morning and being and right?
And for some people it is.
No, so and the grand idea about love being a reason to wake up, and you know that Maya Angelou has that quote that you always have to have the courage to love one more time, you know, because if your heart is broken, you kind of want to give up. But I think that it is like that motivation that gets you up in the morning. Like I'm happy we're in a relationship, but if you never text me back and the fates did not have it aligned for us to be in each other's lives, I would have a reason to wake up, it would be Charlie, you know, and I would have a reason to keep going. It would be to make my father happy, or to pay back this person, you know, who I owed something to. So I think that there's always a reason to keep going, and love is the motivation. It's just some people are more fortunate than others to have more reasons. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my.
What is love for you?
Yeah, the reason for being.
Love is waking up next to you sometimes.
She just wanted to say something. She wanted to have the last word.
No, I didn't.
She said sometimes. That's more accurate. Sometimes.
Fun. So
are we at the same time? She's excited. If we say it at the same time, like you say whatever. Or it's like everybody has their own way of fighting, right? And that's one way I do it. And then also in regards to, I'm sorry.
Can I say one thing? One thing. I do think that this is like we just let me talk over you. I think that we are in a room full of educators. If you viewers don't know, I think that is also like an act of charity, like especially because it's a room full of educators of Black and brown and underserviced communities. So like simply being a person in those spaces that actually like cares about these children in the future, I think that's
enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just to love. What the world needs now.
Relationship with anybody that has a child, there's gonna be compromises.
No, not just
for the most part, gonna have to be the person without the child who makes the compromise. Well, who makes the sacrifice? I'll say sacrifice. And you can try and make it into a compromise. So I will say that.
And the wheat field